How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to be featuring the Ohio Legendary Tier American battleship. In this one, we're gonna have to deal with some fun police, and well, we all know how much I hate fun police, and I'm sure many of you do as well. But that's not gonna stop us from trying to do our thing and basically dumpster the enemy team as best we can while being harassed by, well, things that just appear out of thin air and get manufactured in the middle of the sea. Enemy Hokuryu trying to drop over an island. Still doesn't really make sense to me that they're dropping torpedoes from like outer space. I feel like the impact of the water with the surface tension and whatnot probably would destroy torpedoes if they hit from, well, dropping torps from above an island. I mean, that's just me. I mean, I guess it would be an interesting change to carriers if they were sort of forced to drop torpedoes actually from the height that they were intended, kind of like the way skip bombs work. If you don't know, skip bombs from the Russian carriers, if they drop it from an extreme height and they're not actually at the water level, the bombs won't actually skip and they will just hit the water on the first line, and then that's basically it. So there's kind of a reason to line up a drop properly. With skip bombs, I don't see why they can't do that with torpedoes. Probably would create a better, I guess, dynamic for carriers. And then you could actually use islands to at least dodge torpedo planes. HE bombs, obviously they just drop from outer space anyway. But yeah, torpedoes still feel like they should have to be near the water. Probably would be a good idea as well for the hybrid battleships, so that you're actually dropping and lining up so that your torpedoes and planes won't be dropping from outer space. And it might be a little more interesting than just click on where you want to drop. But CV unfortunately spawned on our side. Our team is all behind us. We're kind of in a spot where we want to get this objective and keep pushing it towards the enemy team, especially the carrier that seems to be just reversing to the border. That's about as much intelligence as carrier players have, is just reverse away, and having like, I'm pretty sure it's like 38 kilometers of range. They can still reverse to the border and reach pretty much everything. It would be a lot more interesting if they actually had to get closer to the battle with the fuel limitation. But as of right now, they still just fly across the map and kind of do whatever they want. They might not be able to get all the drops off, which I feel like generally would get 3. And instead, maybe 1 or 2, but still just reversing away and not being in any sort of danger at all. I mean, I was hoping fuel would be the answer to that, but unfortunately, it's not. Enemy Yamato, ducked from us, seems to want to take a fight from the other side of B. So we're just going to push in. We're going to go try and deal with the second Yamato at the second furthest island, who is not really in any sort of position to really do anything. We do kind of have to worry about the first Yamato though, just in case he decides to reverse and then shoot at our broadside while we're charging at this Yamato, and possibly also getting dropped by the enemy carrier, which we just got a clear sky from. And I mean, even though we got a clear sky, I'm sure he's gonna have full squadrons for us pretty much until the point that he ends up dying. Unfortunately, dispersion on the Yamato, we weren't able to get a citadel in his cheek, even though he is fairly broadside for it. Enemy carrier coming in with HE bombs, not much we can do. We just need to stay angled to this Yamato, and in doing so, we're giving the enemy Hokuryu a perfect drop, which is kind of unfortunate as he scores a double fire instantly. Not much we can do about it. Kind of have to just let it burn. Also, in this match, instead of fight fire with fire, which is a mistake, I am using running with scissors. As time goes on, I keep feeling like running with scissors is a worse and worse option, because not only are you losing accuracy, but you have to push into 8 kilometers to benefit from the active ability, which, I mean, at least it got buffed from 7.5, but at the same time, the 8 kilometers, I don't really think it warrants giving you worse accuracy. I mean, I feel like if you're pushing in, you should benefit, and instead of that -3%, really what it should be is like plus like 5% or something if you're within range. Give you better dispersion for pushing in rather than worse for pushing in. But I mean, that's just me. I feel like if running with scissors didn't have a penalty, probably would be a lot more beneficial for brawling battleships and make a lot more sense to use. Enemy carrier now coming in with torpedo planes. Torpedo planes are definitely going to be a problem because those we definitely need to dodge because those hurt quite a bit. Enemy Yamato comes out flat broadside, and we did get a salvo with our spotter plane. We only get one citadel though, which is kind of unfortunate. Would have been really good if we got another one. And now we're angling to the Yamato and we're flat broadside to the Hokuryu, so all he has to do is just cycle his torpedo planes and we're basically just gonna end up being cooked. Yamato charging in. He is still showing a decent amount of cheek, so I'm just gonna try my best to actually lead properly for his turrets, and ideally we would score more citadels and finish him off. Unfortunately, running with scissors, even though we have 4 stacks of plotting room, accuracy is way too troll for what we need it to be currently. Carrier still harassing us. Luckily it's not torp planes though, and he's just dropping bombs. I think we can survive if he's just dropping bombs, as that Yamato is getting absolutely cooked by our secondaries, and we actually do get a close quarters expert. Enemy Yamato now starting to drive away. Luckily he's not looking at us. He's the only thing we can shoot at though, because the enemy carrier is unspotted because the Yamato pushed us so far away. But now that the Yamato's dead, we have no problem pushing back in towards him, and we're gonna have no problem just simply trying to dodge one squadron, although I'm sure he's still gonna land torpedoes no matter how much we really want to dodge. Looks like we're about to dodge, but unfortunately he hits us with a torpedo and it knocks out our engine, so now we can't really go anywhere. We're just stuck here. Luckily though, we finally started spotting the enemy Hokuryu, and there's not much that he can do now. Obviously we're still trying our best to dodge. We get a citadel and leave him on a sliver of HP. Our friendly carrier was going in for the drop as well, but it seems like his squadron got shredded by Hokuryu planes. So fortunately for us, Hokuryu being on the border, this is basically perfect and it's ours for the taking. Hokuryu sends out another bomb squad. We fire our front guns. Looks pretty good. Rear turrets, just in case. We're able to finish off the Hokuryu, the most satisfying thing in this match. Finishing off the carrier and sending him back to port. Hokuryu, even though he's dead, still dropping us with planes. But luckily, our carrier has been dropping us fighters. Not the most effective, he's dropping it on top of us instead of in between us and the carrier. But at least he was trying, so can't be upset about that. Preussen turning away to angle to me and giving broadside to our whole team. Kind of interesting. It is what it is. I'm just waiting for Preussen to start angling towards our team again, and then he'll be flat broadside for our salvo. Preussen cancels his turn and does in fact start turning back to the left to angle to the rest of our team, and our salvo looks pretty good. Land 2 shells and we're able to finish him off. We also get a fireproof. Surprised we didn't really get a dreadnought here. I don't know if it's because we didn't get shot at by 4 things. Probably the case, but we're able to finish with a high caliber, clear sky, 2 close quarters, and over 4k XP because carrier plane XP. But yeah, I'm kind of glad we were able to do what we were able to. Enemy team didn't really put enough pressure on us, and I mean, also looking at our team, I think 7 of the 9 scored 2k or more. So yeah, I don't think the enemy team really had any sort of chance. But I feel like if I was to change this build, definitely wouldn't be using running with scissors anymore, and probably not the spotter. I think the most current build, I've actually also swapped out Fernandez for Megatron, and just because Preussen meta, everything's so far away, doesn't really make sense to have a full secondary build anymore, which is kind of unfortunate. If they ever give us a Henry J. Hyde version, like it has porcupine and accuracy stuff, maybe, but until then, definitely not gonna change the build. But that's pretty much it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and subscribe for more, and share with your friends, or leave a comment down below for other ships you want to see in the future. But anyway guys, till next time, aloha.